Guys, we have a big breaking news coming out when it comes to nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. NATO warns Putin, we're not going anywhere. Whoa. Give me a second here. I want to show you something really quick here. So we are definitely seeing some stuff going on today. NATO chief Mark warned Putin on Wednesday that we are not going anywhere after talks between the Russian president and U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff failed to reach any agreement. Now, Mark, speaking at a NATO meeting in Brussels, warned against Russian increasingly reckless behavior as he urged allies to invest at least 5% of their GDP in defense spending. In other words, the alliances are getting ready for war. Alright guys, before I start, for those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife Jessica Santiago at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. And for those of you that want to help and support the channel, we do have the Cash App link and the PayPal link in the comments box and also description box. Once again, thank you so much for your support. So NATO Chief Mark is urging all the alliances, I think it's like 33 nations, to prepare now. Get your stuff ready. We're not going to back down. Once again, Mark, speaking at a NATO meeting in Brussels, warned against Russia's increasingly reckless behavior as he urged allies to invest at least 5% of their GDP in defense spending. Now, Putin believes he can outlast us, he said, before pointing to the treaty members' support for Ukraine as proof of the Russian leader is wrong. Mark also praised the U.S. president's efforts, calling him the only one person in the whole world, who is able to break the deadlock. Now, Steve Witkoff and the U.S. president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, met with Putin for nearly 5 hours on Tuesday. Now, Jared, a top Kremlin aide, called the meeting very useful, constructive, and highly substantive, but said a compromise option has not yet been found. According to the state news agency, once again, you have Jared said that the Russian side had expressed a critical and even negative attitude towards several proposals in the plan, and added that the territorial issue is the most important for both Russia and the U.S. So NATO is getting ready. What to know? Steve Witkoff and Putin met in Moscow to discuss the revised version of President Trump's peace plan following U.S.-Ukraine negotiation on an earlier draft proposal that Kiev viewed as too heavily weighted towards Russia. Number 2, Ukraine media reported that a planned Wednesday briefing between Zelensky and Trump envoy about the meeting had been canceled. As Ukraine president said preparations were underway for talks in the U.S. So Zelensky just announced that he will be meeting with the U.S. and they're going to talk something out. But I did post a video on this channel. Notifications were not sent out. The links will be in the comments box, guys. This platform is not sending out too many notifications, but you guys got the notification for this one here. So you have Jared said that Moscow has sent 4 more documents in addition to Trump's original 27-point peace plan. He did not outline their contents. Now, once again, Jared said that the meeting explored huge prospect for economic cooperation between Russia and the U.S. He added that greetings were conveyed between Trump and Putin. He said that no further meeting between Trump and Putin had currently been planned. The possibility of a meeting between these two will depend on the progress achieved towards a settlement, he said. The meeting came as Putin claimed a significant victory in Ukraine, saying his forces had taken complete control of Pokrovsk in the east, a logistics center for supplying Ukrainian troops. All right, so control of territory in Russia, war in Ukraine. You see the pink one? Those are the ones. The light pink is the one that's been annexed. About, I think, 2021. The dark pink, those, again, Crimea, that was annexed back in 2014 under Barack. And it goes to tell you that Barack and then Joe. Again, this is Barack and Joe. All right, that's their stuff. This is their stuff. Donald is saying, this is not my war. This is not mine's. All right, I'm trying to end this thing. That belongs to Joe and his buddy. And they're the one who failed. They're making me look bad. So Zelensky says war must end in a way that ensures Russia will never try and invade again. So this is coming out from Aton. He said this. Give me a second here. Let me just... It says here, this is coming out from the president of Ukraine. He said that the Russians started the war and there are no alternatives to this wording. The whole world is a witness. They came with aggression to destroy us. We stopped them. Europe helped. Let me stop there, man. Yeah, you didn't stop them, dude. Yeah, you didn't stop them. They still hammering you guys. They're taking out territory. You didn't stop them. Europe is helping, yes, but you didn't stop them. You did not stop them. Here's the thing, guys. For those of you that don't know, his land has been seeing a lot of lawlessness. Remember when Joe ordered the judge in Ukraine, well, to get, I give you $1 billion if you get rid of this person. There was a lot of lawlessness going on. And don't forget, that laptop that belongs to Joe's son, the laptop? Well, there's a lot of stuff in that laptop that has a lot of things that they were dealing in his country, Ukraine. So there was a lot of lawlessness going on. I think that's the reason why Russia went in. There was so many crazy stuff that was going on there. So don't act like the U.S. is a saint. Like we are innocent. We don't do nothing wrong. We are good people. We Christians. Again, there's a lot of antichrist spirits and lawlessness running the sleeping giant. It says here we stopped them. No, you didn't. Europe helped. Yes, they are helping, but you didn't stop them. The sleeping giant helped. Yep, we are helping you guys. The bear has not managed to occupy Ukraine because of the strength of the Ukrainian people, soldiers, civilians, and our partners. We fully support the U.S. saying enough, with the war. But we must end this war in such a way that a year from now, the bear does not come back with a third invasion in this decade. It may happen because that was their main goal. All right, so a lot of stuff that he said was, accurate. But again, him saying that he stopped them. No, you guys didn't stop them. You guys did not stop the bear. They still hammering you guys. If you stopped the bear, this war would have been done a long time ago. The bear ambassador to the UK claims Europe is trying to prolong Ukraine war. Yes, I agree. It's those alliances that they want to continue this war. The bear ambassador to the UK, Andre, has accused the UK, France, and Germany of trying to prolong hostilities in Ukraine. At the moment, and I think for quite a prolonged period of time, European countries are not working for peace, he told Sky News, adding that those big three countries stand for the continuation of fighting over the area. He accused them of trying to prolong the war to enrich their own economies through their defense industries, and he said European countries were only harming themselves by their aggressions towards Russia. Here's the thing, guys. I find those Europeans, like NATO, I just find them like troublemakers for some reason. Donald could bring like this peace deal. Zelensky will love it. And then Zelensky goes and visits Emmanuel Macron or Germany, France, whatever, and they whisper in his ears, "Don't do it. That's not good. That peace deal is not great." And then he listens to them. Z listens to them. It's basically Z is like a puppet. Ex-Russian commander says Moscow was unprepared for invasion of Ukraine. Former Russian ground forces commander Vladimir Churkin has offered public rare criticism of Moscow when he said that the bear had not been prepared for its invasion of Ukraine. We had the traditional underestimation of the opponent and overestimation of our own military. Now, once again, the ex-Russian commander said that Russia's initial plan had been to seize Kiev in 3 days. Oh, yeah, that was not going to happen. That was not going to happen. Seize Kiev in 3 days, buoyed by the confidence from its 5-day war in Georgia in 2008. Yeah, they were not going to take Kiev in 3 days. Yeah. Again, that was not going to happen. Now, during the first few weeks, we were taught a serious, harsh lesson, and the former defense minister tried to find a face-saving exit from the situation, calling what was happening a gesture of goodwill. Now, he also criticized the entire Russian intelligence community for telling leadership that 70% of the Ukrainian population supported the invasion, a claim which turned out to be entirely false. It's one of the first times that a top Russian official has made such public criticism of Russia's war effort, something that can lead to criminal charges. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, that dude is really putting out a lot of stuff there, that could lead to arrest. It could lead to him being thrown in jail. They don't tolerate that stuff in Russia. Zelensky says Ukraine's top negotiators to meet with Donald's envoy in the U.S. Now, Ukraine's top negotiator will meet with envoys of Donald in the U.S. after peace talks between the American officials and Russian leader Putin failed to reach an agreement. As always, Ukraine will work constructively in pursuit of a real peace. I expect a new report following the result of today's meeting in Europe, Ukrainian leader Zelensky said in a post on X. Zelensky comments came after today's NATO meeting in Brussels. Ooh, yeah. That right there is a big problem. Russia told EU, "Don't touch our money. You touch it, and there's gonna be big war." So it's like billions. I mean, we're talking about I think over $100 billion. It says here actually 90 billion. So European Commission has proposed supplying Ukraine with 90 billion over 2026-2027, covering roughly 2/3 of Kiev financing needs and helping it enter any future peace talk from a position of strength. The preferred method is a so-called reparation loan backed by Russian state assets frozen in the EU since the 2022 invasion. Under this model, the assets mostly held at Erupted in Belgium will remain legally Russian, but the EU will use them as a collateral to raise money for Ukraine with the expectation that Russia would eventually repay the loan through war damage reparation. Yeah, Russia's like, it ain't gonna happen. Alright, so we do have a lot of information that's coming out, guys. Polish official says Europe is building security against and not with Russia. Poland's foreign minister said that NATO, Russia's council, no longer exists as Europe focuses on building security against and not with Russia. Today's we are creating European security against Russia, and this has finally found its institutional expression. Now, he added that the NATO Russia Council, a forum established in 2002, was founded in another time when European security could be built with Russia, but those times are now gone due to Russian decision on invasions. Now, once again, Sikorski added that the EU proposal to use frozen Russian assets to fund Ukraine could be a key decider in ending the war. If Putin concludes that Ukraine has this money and can finance both the state and its defense for 2 or 3 years, he will have to recalculate whether he can afford to continue his war for 2 to 3 years, he said. Alright, guys. And this is going to be the final one here. NATO chief warns Putin, "We're not going anywhere." Excuse me. NATO chief Mark warned Putin on Wednesday that we are not going anywhere as the Russian president ramp up military spending. Putin believes he can outlast us, he said, before pointing to the treaty members' support for Ukraine as proof that the Russian leader is wrong. Mark, speaking at a NATO meeting in Brussels, warned against Russia's increasingly reckless behavior as he urged allies to invest at least 5% of the GDP in defense spending as Moscow spends 40% of its state budget on defense. We have to react, he added. The NATO Secretary General said that it was important to continue to pile the pressure of Russia, even if he was no longer sure the peace process will be successful. Mark also praised the U.S. president peace effort, calling him the only one person in the whole world who is able to break the deadlock. And that's where we are right now, guys. So it seems like the alliances are getting ready, and you have NATO telling Putin we're not going nowhere, and Putin sending a message, if you guys want to go at it, we go at it. And this peace deal is not even working out. So nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom, tensions are rising. I will keep you updated on this one here, guys. Do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I will bring you some more news when it comes to nation against nation related to Bible prophecy. We are seeing it, living it, and witnessing scriptures happening right in front of our faces. Thank you so much for watching, guys. God bless you all. Till next time later. Peace.